Hello, back again with me, Priscilia Mangabar. Now, I want to tell you about Ielts preparation. Actually, Ielts stands for International English Language Testing System and is a form of English proficiency test, which is an obligation that must be passed for those of you who want to study or internship and work and migrate abroad. One of the countries is Australia. The types of IELTS. There are two types of IELTS, namely general training and academic. So, for those of you who want to study abroad with IELTS requirements, take the academic one. General training is for those who want job training, migration, who want to continue their studies at high school, or for those who want to gain experience in working abroad. Next, IELTS test stage duration. There are four sections for IELTS tests, namely listening, reading, writing, and speaking. The listening duration is 30 minutes. Reading is 60 minutes. And speaking is a maximum of 15 minutes. So the total time is 2 hours 45 minutes. Listening, reading, and writing tests are carried out on the same day and without using break times. It's a bit like a high school or vocational high school final exam time test for English. Meanwhile, the speaking can be done after passing three other tests. For it can also be done 7 days before and after the IELTS test is conducted. For score or values ranging from 1 to 9 with a difference of 0.5. For that, you must know what the minimum score required to enter the university major. Just for your information, there are several universities that ask for an average Ielts score, but there are also universities that ask for a specific score. According to Denita, who was graduate from the University of Melbourne, majoring in Bachelor of Medical Science, which was quote from indonesiamenglobal.com, said that to enter the major she is pursuing for the required Ielts score is a minimum score of 7.0. In order to enter the department, he must get a score for listening, reading, writing, and speaking, which must be 7.0. If during the Ielts test he scores the three tests, namely listening, reading, and writing 7.0, but speaking is 6.5. Then he must repeat the Ielts test until he gets a minimum score of 7.0 in all stages of the test. Next, I'm going to revisit the introduction of the Ielts. Is one of the language requirements for the study in of information techniques. The Ielts themselves are used both academically and generically, where academically use ourselves when we are conducting our studies in the outside world. For the general, it is a need for someone to stay. The Ielts is most commonly used in the British and Australian countries. Ielts studies are essential material because it will then provide an Ielts test as a requisite for a more specialist information engineering student. The Ielts test itself consists of four stages: listening, writing, speaking, and reading. As for his stage as follows. Second, writing. For writing was done for 60 minutes for two assignments. The first task being 150 words, in which the letter, table, and diagram. For the second task, must write as many as 250 words. Third, speaking to speaking, as by herself, was performed at a minimum of 10 to 15. This test itself was performed with one candidate and one examiner, and was performed and was performed sorry third, speaking to speaking, as by herself, was performed at a minimum of 10 to 15 minutes. This test itself was performed with one candidate and one examiner, and was performed directly. The first part takes a total of 4 to 5 minutes of stage, one more with examinations and candidates pass to takes 1 to 3 minutes for this stage to be more detailed than the candidate. Then at stage 3, where both parties will have a discussion. Listening. For listening itself usually tests conversations that involve everyday activities, their topics being more specific to personal information about name, age, place, and work. For listening tests themselves must pay particular attention to each letter because each letter affects both small and large. And the last, reading for the test, we are going to answer any questions given under the terms of each issue for the amount of approximately 40 problems involved in 3 sections. So, this explains the introduction to English study by Ielts. I am Priscilia Mangeber. Pete your farewell. Thank you so much.